Welcome to Math with Teacher Junaza. In this video, we will be converting decimals to fractions. To convert decimal to fraction, you first must remember what decimals and fraction are. Decimal is a number that has a decimal point followed by digits that show a value smaller than 1, while fraction is a number that represents a part of a whole. Both decimals and fractions are ways to show numbers that as part of a whole. With decimals, the parts are broken into tenths, hundredths, thousands. The number after the decimal point are what we call the decimal number. So here, 2 is in the tenths place, 3 is in the hundredths place, and 4 is in the thousands place. And 1 here is what we call the whole number. One whole pan of brownie would be the same as the digit 1 to the left of the decimal. Since there are no part of the whole brownie, there would be a 0 to the right of the decimal point. 1 whole is the same as 1.0. A second pan of brownie that have been cut into equal parts but some pieces have been eaten is like the digits to the right of the decimal point. If 4 pieces have been eaten, and since 10 minus 4 is 6, then we would say 0.6 or 6/10 of the brownie remains. Just count the tenths. If we want to show that the 6 pieces remains, we would say there are 0.6 or 6/10. Now, if we want to convert this to a fraction, we just show the part of the whole with a fraction line in between the digits instead of the decimal. So the point 6/10 is now written as 6/10. Here's a strategy to help in converting decimals to fractions. First, if the decimal is in the tenths, just write the digits in decimal as a numerator over a denominator of 10. Second, if the decimal is in the hundredths, write the digits in decimals as the numerator over a denominator of 100. Third, if the decimal is in the thousands, put the digits in the decimal as a numerator over a denominator of 1000. Remember to reduce the obtained fraction into its lowest form. Let's take a look at some examples. Write 0.7 or 7/10 as a fraction. So 7 is in the tens place, so 10 is a denominator and we copy 7 as the denominator, so we get 7/10. Let's have another example. Write 75 hundredths as a fraction. So 75 in the hundredths place, we put 100 in the denominator and copy 75 as the numerator, but we still reduce this one to the lowest term. So we will divide both the numerator and denominator with 25. So 75 divided by 25 is 3, and 100 divided by 25 is 4. So we get 3/4. What place does our decimal end? And it gives to a thousands place. So 1000 is our denominator and 126 is our numerator. But we can reduce it to the lowest term. We will divide both the numerator and denominator by 2. So we get 63/500. Okay, let's try this. Convert decimals to fraction. Okay, think what place does a decimal end? For number 1, 4/10. Decimal ends in the tenths place. So that's going to be a denominator for our fraction. Again, whatever the decimal ends, that's going to be the denominator. So 4/10, we take a look at what number behind the decimal and we have 4. So that's our numerator. So 4/10 as a decimal and 4/10 as a fraction. But we still reduce to the lowest term and we get 2/5. Number 2. 9 hundredths. So the denominator is 100 and the numerator is 9. So we get 9 hundredths. Number 3. What place does our decimal end? And it gives to 1,000's place. So 1,000 is the denominator and 603 is the numerator. Number 4. 5 tenths. It can be reduced to lowest term, which is 1/2. 5. 3 thousandths. In 6, we have a mixed number. So 9 and 7 tenths. Now it's your turn to answer the following. Convert decimals to fractions. Here are the correct answers.